Hey, this is Nika, and you're watching the Raisena Talk. We have senior TV journalist Mr. Shiv Poojan with us. So, sir, caste-based census has been an emotive issue for Nitish Kumar. So now that the Patna High Court has stopped the caste-based census in the states, so do you think it is going to be a big blow to Nitish Kumar?
Yes, I would agree to you. Definitely, this is going to be a big blow for Nitish Kumar in the light of the fact that they have been raising this issue, breaking it up for quite some time. Earlier,
Right.
demanding the center to get into caste-based census when it was rejected, and subsequently, parties like RJD and the JDS get converged and they decided to have their own caste-based census in the state of Bihar. And it was launched in two separate phases. Second phase that was going on, and we were expecting that possibly the caste-based census would be over by 15th of May. Massive data collection has already been done, but even earlier, the High
Right.
had observed and questioned the rational question about what exactly is the need for having a caste-based census in the state. Possibly the state government was not in a position to satisfy all those queries which were raised by the High Court. The main contention of the state government was that it will help them once the data is available with them. It would be helpful for them to work for and to frame policies and programs for the benefit of the people or that particular section of society who have been marginalized in the economic development process.
Right, sir. So, even earlier, the court had asked on the need for having the caste-based census in the state. So, like, what are your views on this thing?
Yes, the court had, when this matter came up for a hearing and the PILs were filed about that, arguments were from both the sides, and it appeared more or less that there was no justification of the kind which the court would accept. And that is the reason why we see that all of a sudden the High Court takes a call and decides that there should be an end to the caste-based census, and the data which has been
Right.
collected so far, uh, uh, they should not be made public at all. The data would presently be with the government. I imagine the state government has already spent over 117 crores of rupees. There would have been approximately 500 crores of total money which would have been put for the entire
Right.
caste-based census across the state. In the first phase, we saw how there was inundation of the houses, the numbers were taken down, and subsequently but there was a big problem which the government was facing. When it came to collecting the data pertaining to the economic status of the people, most of the people were not forthcoming. And often it did happen that the people did try to conceal their real income. So the data which is available, there is a strong possibility of that particular data not being correct at all. But anyway, the government could not defend its position in the court, and that is the reason why I feel that the court completely put it aside and said that there should be a full stop to the caste-based census. But the government is hopeful. They're hoping that when the next hearing takes place on 3rd of July, possibly the government the side would be heard. But yes, we have been getting reactions coming from the BJP. We have been getting reactions from the JDU camp as well.
Right, sir. So when we talk about Bihar, there are the two, three parties that comes in a mind. That is JDU and RJD. So they have been very aggressively demanding a caste-based census in the state. So what are the reasons?
That's a very significant question which you have raised here. Very pertinent. Why the need for having a caste-based census, and why is it
Right.
that states like Odisha they too are following? Remember that even earlier, such censuses were conducted in Karnataka and Telangana, and
Right.
the data pertaining to the same was never made public. The fact of the matter that most of these regional parties are getting the feeling that they are gradually being marginalized as the winning spree of the BJP continues, primarily on the most important being the agenda of Hinduism, second one being that of nationalism, the third most important aspect being the larger than life size image of Narendra Modi himself, and also the various
Yes.
welfare schemes. So definitely all these regional parties, they needed to devise some way or the other to remain relevant. And that is the reason why I feel that there has been so much of demand coming primarily from most of the regional parties for having a caste-based census. Remember that earlier these political parties were demanding it to be done from the side of the center. At that point in time, Nitish Kumar sided with Tejasvi Yadav and they were in the opposition. They were not together. But then Tejasvi Yadav was repeatedly raising his voice, demanding that if the center has declined to
Yes.
have a caste-based census in the state, there should be an attempt on the part of the state government itself, and the state government should use its own machinery. Now, while using that particular machinery, more than 5,19,000 people were employed for this mammoth task. So basically, I feel that most of these regional parties, they wanted to remain relevant, and possibly once the data is available with most of these regional parties, they would have been in a position to frame or to strategize their future move to counter the BJP primarily. So the caste-based census more has got political connotations than anything real behind it.
Right, sir. So my last question for today's Raisina talk for you is, even Orissa has now decided to have a very similar caste-based census. So do you think that this is bound to be replicated in their state?
And that is taking place even as the High Court has banned the caste-based census in Bihar. Uh, well, definitely, I feel that there would be attempts to replicate this in other states, primarily the states which are presently being non-BJP ruled states. There will be similar such attempts, but what exactly is the rationale? You're utilizing the state exchequer's money for collecting information pertaining to the exact number of the caste in the state.
Right.
The court definitely did not buy the arguments which were put forth by the government here in the state of Bihar. But yes, I feel that this is unstoppable, and this is going to happen in the days to come. Possibly there will be other states which will come up with their own caste-based census. But this is the prerogative of the union government, whereas the states, they are trying to take the responsibility on their own shoulders, and that is the reason why I'm reiterating that it has got political connotations, Suman.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir. It was lovely having discussion with you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll be back with another episode tomorrow. Till then, please do share, like, and subscribe our YouTube channel.